things been?
I am doing okay. Gosh, there's just so much going on. I'm like, I just stopped, like, I just finished watching The Traitor. Oh my God, I
Oh,
can't. I
Michelle,
have so much. I mean, I can't even like tell you how much I have to say. Oh my God.
oh, and I'm gonna
Um,
pick your brain because I have been following the Traitors. I have been obsessed since day one. It's so good.
so good. But
Yeah.
sorry, I was going off on a tangent. I'm doing
No, you're
okay. I have been recovering from a total knee replacement.
oh no.
Um, yeah, so it's been a year. I got it actually, it's, yeah, like a year, February 23rd last year. Um, that's been kind of what I've been doing the past year is just kind of rehabbing it
Yeah.
um, and trying to get, sorry, trying to get back to like, normal life and trying to figure out this whole titanium knee situation. But I'm like bionic woman. So,
Yeah, Bionic Woman.
yeah.
I'm so grateful. I'm so sorry that you're going through that, but I'm so grateful that you're here with me because I'm a huge fan. Your season is the best season. You know, it's so iconic. Big Brother
I
10.
agree. Not that I'm biased, but I agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
Yes, Big Brother 10. That was in 2008. I was looking it up the other night because I completely forgot the year. And I'm like, my gosh, that was 16 years ago. That's wild.
I like feel like it's been like an eternity, but then at the same time, it was just like yesterday.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
I remember like there's some parts that I've shut off in my brain. um,
I'm
but
sure.
pretty much I could relive everything like it was yesterday. I can't believe that it's been that long. It's so
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, that is a long time. I'm actually rewatching it now with on TikTok. All my followers, we do rewatches every week, and we're
Yeah,
rewatching
I
it, and I'm
stopped
like, oh,
in like about a month ago.
yes, yes. It was so, I mean, I love it. I love that everyone's getting to watch it again because they're forgetting. They're like, all these people now that especially who follow me are all younger. So they're into the new modern seasons and they're not really they don't know the older seasons. I'm like, listen, you all the drama is there. But yeah, it was crazy. What was
These
it like
new
living in the
seasons
house
got
with that?
nothing. These
Yeah,
new seasons got nothing
nothing.
like the way that they used to be.
Yeah.
You always talk about like, I remember when it was so good. Like a lot of things in life, right?
Right.
So Big Brother used to be so good, and then I don't know. I'm hoping that maybe it can get back there again.
Hmm.
'Cause, things do come full circle sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, I just think it's also like to me, it's like you cast people in regards to what you're hoping that how they are supposed to be in their eyes when they cast. Like
Yeah.
they got the villain, they got the mommy figure, they got the
Right.
young. But I feel like they are casting all wrong. Like all they want showmances and they want younger
Hmm.
people. Last season was a little bit more along like different age ranges, which is good.
Yes.
Um, but I think they need to get back to that. They need to get
Yeah.
back to the meat and the potatoes. They need to get back to that and not put all these like influencers and people that want to get like, followers and people that never even watched the game. I'm like, what? Like you went
Yeah.
on the show and you don't even know what you're going on. Like you don't
Hmm.
even research it. So, it's crazy to me. Like, oh yeah, they casted me in a bar. Like I was just there, I was like, what?
Yeah,
So
that's
I
wild.
wanted to go back to game players.
Yeah.
Um, but it is what it is, right? We're not the
Right.
casting people, but we're there for the show and to watch. And it's just if you've watched it the past couple of years and you're new to Big Brother,
Hmm.
um, some people probably might think it's a little corny
Right.
with the
Right.
monsters and the
Well, yeah. Yeah.
uh, you know, like sometimes I was just like, there was a few times that I was like, it's kind of embarrassing to watch this, like, and tell people to watch it. Oh, you got to watch the show, and they'll be like, What do you have me watching?" Like, I don't know.
It's funny because I call it like an adult Nickelodeon.
Oh my gosh, that's so
Because
funny.
last season they're getting slimed, you know what I mean? And we
Going
had
to the
that
nether
before.
regions. I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
nether regions. Yeah, we had that before, but not as like dolled up into what it is now. It's ridiculous. But the feeds is where it's at. Like I tell people all the time, don't even watch the show. Like watch the show for the DRs and the nominations that we don't get to see. But the feeds is what you really want to watch. It's different.
It's different. If you
Hmm.
want to watch something that's full of edits and compiled together, and kind of streaming what they want you to see in this person, or what you want to what they want to see in the gameplay or whatever, then you can watch CBS. But if you want to watch what's actually going on, then the feeds is where it's at. You get to really see who's behind what, and what was actually, if if they don't cut the feeds, what actually did go on in the fight. Because they tend to, people ask me all the time, oh my god, did you say some of that stuff that you said? I was like, yes, but
Hmm.
there's words that were removed, and there was parts of the conversation that were swapped and flip-flopped. Like this was actually what was said first rather than what they showed. So I tell people, yes, absolutely. 100% everything that you see is what was said. It's just
Yes,
not in the context of how they're portraying it. So it's just funny, like it's like two different Big Brothers, right? If
it
you watch,
is.
there's live feeders that don't even watch the CBS version of it,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
which I'm kind of like, you kind of have to watch it just because
yeah.
like you need to see what's going on. But um, they know what's going on if they watch the live feeds. You pretty much, it's like 98%, because they do cut off the feeds, sometimes in critical moments that they
Uh
should
huh.
not.
Right. Yes. Yes. We've
I'm
seen
like,
that
please
plenty.
push the button, don't press the button.
We know it. We always know when they're gonna do it too. We're like, oh, it's coming.
Oh yeah,
We'll
here it
be right
comes.
back.
Oh, it's too good
Um,
right now. There we go.
yeah. So I do want to get into the Traitors, but I just have like a couple more Big Brother questions. Just
Yeah.
just as a fan, I want to know. Um, Back then, what was the casting process like for you?
It's intense.
Yeah.
I haven't gone on another show to be able to, compare, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've talked to other people and what they've experienced, and it's definitely nothing compared to what Big Brother was like. Uh, it starts off like, we're talking about 4 months. I think it's like a process, and I'm talking about when you start actually speaking with different casting and different producers and stuff like that. Um, and you have to be quiet. You can't tell anybody. Like I was keeping a secret from my family, from my friends. A lot of them didn't even know what Big Brother was. So even if I were to tell them, they would be like, "What are you talking about?" So it's just like you got to be like, it's like you're playing the game before you even get there.
Yeah.
It was strictly just like your initials. That's how they, your name. It was like, MC, and you saw people, but you couldn't talk to them. You had to stay to yourself. You had certain times that you were able to leave your room for certain things. Like if you had the gym, you had a gym time, you had like pool time, you had like dinner time. I remember that I was in the process, I think it was like the first stage where I went for like 2 weeks. And I had like a babysitter, which is like the handler, but I called it my
Yeah.
babysitter. And they came to get me, and she came to get me. And we go downstairs, and I wanted to eat at the bar restaurant that they had down in the hotel room, in the hotel area. So I was sitting with them, and this guy was sitting next to me, and he's like, "Hey, how are you?" And I'm like, looking at him like, hmm, I can't talk to you. Like, so don't talk to me, please. So he's like, how are you? You're cute. Like, what's going on? And I'm like, so I'm looking at my handler, and I'm like, oh my God, it's a setup. Like they're setting me up, like that's it.
Yeah.
Like if I say hi, like I'm done. That's it. So I'm ignoring the guy, and the guy is like, excuse me, like you're ignoring me. I'm talking to you. Stop being rude. And I'm looking at my handle like, are you gonna say something? Like, I can't. Like, so she's like, sorry, sir, she can't talk to you. And he's like, who is she? Like, who do I have sitting next to me that she can't talk to me? She has somebody talking for her.
Wow.
And so, like, it was going back and forth, and it got very heated. And the guy was like adamant. He wanted to talk to me, and that was what he wanted to do. And he wasn't taking no for an answer. And he ended up getting like removed.
Oh my.
Yes, it got almost like, I don't know, I wouldn't say physical, but he got up and he was just like wanting to talk to me and was just like, and then the security came and said, you had to leave. And he was like, I'm not leaving. I'm like, I didn't do anything wrong. And he didn't. He just wanted to talk
Yeah.
to me. I can't blame him. I mean, he wanted to go to the Portuguese princess. What the
Oh
heck?
my gosh.
So yeah, so he was kicked out of the
Wow.
bar
I
restaurant.
mean, that's wild.
And I'm like, I'm supposed to be incognito, right?
Yeah.
And there's a big bar scene happening right now. And I'm like, oh boy, this is just like, that's it. I'm done. Um, but um, but yeah, so I came back home and it was a lot of like back and forth, like, we don't know yet, we're not sure yet, we don't know yet, we're still trying to weigh down everything. And I went back again for a second round, and then it was like, we're still not sure, we don't know. And so then they were like, well, we kind of just want to see how you are with the, like, in front of a camera, like
Mhm.
how you're gonna be. And I was like, okay. So I had already like been writing down in like a journal, like just different things, like, okay, this is what I pay. I need to pay my bills while I'm gone. So I'm like, this is what I pay. So good thing
Right.
I had written all that stuff down, because literally that they never told me that I made it on. They just came and wanted to see how I was in front of the camera.
And
And
took
like
you?
30 minutes in, they're like, okay, we gotta go. And I'm like, go where? Where are we going? They're like, you got to pack your stuff. Like, I'm taking stuff out of my hamper, like dirty, like clothes. I'm like, oh, snap.
Wow.
And my family's like, what is going, like, they're old school Portuguese. They're like, what? They're like throwing around like bread and stuff, like, who are you? What are you doing? Like, yeah. So it was definitely intense. Like, my friends didn't even know I was gone until they saw me on TV, and oh, it was crazy. But
Wow.
gosh, I want to do it all over again. Let's do it.
Oh, would you? I would love to see that.
I would. I mean, I think I've been in hiatus for long enough,
Yeah.
and I think that I would love to do. If I had the opportunity to go back, I would love to, or to do anything else. If I had that, if I was given the opportunity. I know it's going to be a lot different if it was a different show, because Big Brother is the only live show,
Mhm.
pretty much, that what you see is it's happening then. So it'd be a little bit different, as in, I think the secrecy in regards to being kidnapped and not telling anybody. Like,
Yeah.
you would go film and come back and be like, yep, I went and did something. I can't tell you until it comes out a year later or whatever it is.
Right.
But yeah, given the opportunity, I would maybe go back and do something.
That would be awesome. I would love to see it. I have so many favorite moments from your season. I
Oh
mean, we
my
had
goodness.
Keisha's birthday. We have
Oh
just
my
Rennie
God.
in general, like every scene that Rennie is in. Your season. I want to know
Oh,
your favorite moment of all time.
oh, it was winning the HOH in my unitard, and just screaming at the top of my lungs, like, when I like, it's one of those moments that like you think about, or I mean, like, you can't really think about that, but like, just something that, like, if it couldn't have been so perfectly written, it was just like down in the dumps to like a phoenix rising from the ashes. Literally, I was in a red unitard, so I was like a phoenix.
Yes.
Um, it was just so awesome, because like me and Rennie had gotten in a fight the night was it the night before? Yeah, that night before, because Rennie was getting up. She was like, "Man, they're really talking loud over these speakers. Like, I'm trying to sleep." And I'm like, "Rennie, it's part of the HOH." She's like, "What are you talking about? What are you talking about, darling?" I was like, "Rennie, you have to listen to the messages." She's like, "I'm not listening to a message." She had like her earplugs in and stuff like that,
Stop,
you know. And I'm like, "No, Rennie, you have to listen to it like it's part of it." She's like, "No, it isn't, darling. No, it isn't, darling." And
darling.
I'm like, "Yes, Rennie." Like, so we kind of were going back and forth, back and forth. Me and Rennie had like a really good relationship, and we still do to this day. She actually came up to New Hampshire, and we spent some time in December, but um, for the Toys for Tots event. But we were kind of like bickering all the. It was like Tom and Jerry kind of thing, you know. You know, it's like we would bicker, but then we would like, you know, protect each other, you know. So we were both on the opposite sides of the houses as well. So it was kind of, you know, difficult for us to not see
Mhm.
eye to, well, I shouldn't say not difficult. It was difficult because we were in the same side and it was we weren't seeing eye to eye. So but yes, so when we went to the HOH, and it was literally what I told her. Like, I knew every single word, noise, everything of every single phone call. And I knew it like right at the end when it was between me and Libra. And I believe it was Libra. Yeah, it was just me and Libra, I think it was. And Julie was like, "We have a new HOH." And I knew I was right. And I was
Mhm.
like, so and so then we went back into the house after the craziness, and uh Rennie was like, "Don't start with me, Michelle, just because you got your key. You're the HOH." Oh my god, it was so awesome. So I have to say, like, there was a lot of highlights, but that to me was, you know, my favorite moment. You know, but there was just it was such a great cast, you
Yeah,
know, everybody was like had different views and different opinions, and but everybody was like alpha male, alpha female, you know, like, so nobody was going to stand down. It was just, I thought that that casting, they did such a great job.
I
I
agree.
mean, we had Jerry, he was 75,
Yeah.
you know, all the way down to Jesse, who was a natural bodybuilder, to Rennie, who was just gold,
Mhm.
um, classic gold. You know, all the way to like April and Ollie and Brian and Steven and Keisha and Libra. And it was just, and, you know, Dan and Memphis. And just you know, you just wish you can rewrite that again with, you know, why can't they get the casting right, you know, it just sometimes it doesn't work out, but it did for Big Brother 10. It was really really good. I mean, we were like, we didn't need no alcohol to entertain. We didn't get a lot. We got the knives taken away, and we just great. I was like, what kind of house, what do you guys put me in? Like, who are these people that we have to remove the knives? What the hell is going on here? But we didn't need anything to help us. We were kind of battling head to head, and it was awesome. You know, like that's what you want. You want, like, you know, even though like some of the voting at the end of it, like we voted with, you know, sometimes it was unanimous, but
Mhm.
that was just because at the end of the day, like, you know, you got to kind of, if you knew that you there wasn't any way that you were going to be able to help that person, you kind of got, you had to. So it wasn't like, you know, like sometimes when you watch it now and you're like, why is everyone voting the same? Like, why are they scared to vote? Like, we when there was time to vote, um to take somebody out, that's what we did. Like, if it was, we knew somebody wasn't had a shot, we all voted that same way. But you can't say that without my season. I
No.
mean, it was it was wonderful. For me, what I would want to see, not because it was my season, but I would love to see Big Brother 10 redone
Yeah.
and see what happens, to put everybody back in that house and to play. the game again, and I'd love to see what would happen because um, I think it would surprise a lot of people, but I think there would be some people that you think that would be together would not, and vice versa.
Oh my
I
gosh.
just think it would be like, Big Brother
Yeah.
10 redo.
Listen, if they do this, I would be running to the TV. Yes, please. Do you think
Yeah,
everybody in your cast would be up for that though? Like, I think the only person to me I think you'd have a hard time with would be Dan.
I absolutely 130,000% agree that I think he would be probably the one between him and I would say maybe also Memphis.
Okay, yeah,
Um, I just I think 100% Dan would not want to
right.
probably do that.
But even that being said, I would still love to see the rest of you. That
Right.
would be amazing.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I think we should do it. Let's do it.
Honestly, CBS, come on, call them.
Hello. Hello.
Oh my gosh.
Gary
So,
don't got a lot of time left. Come on.
no, but you know what's been really good is the Traitors. The Traitors is bringing back, I think the average age was 40s, everybody, the cast. I mean,
I
and I
The
love to
cast
see
is
the older.
amazing.
What was that?
The cast of the Traitors is just amazing what they did.
Yes. I love to see the older generation play. Like it's better. There's more drama.
I always wondered why they think that putting a bunch of young people, like, hot bodies and stuff like that,
Right.
into that type of situation, like, it, it's not Love Island. It's not like, X on the beach or whatever it is. Like, this is a game, like, and you have to have different types of strategies. And if your strategy of everybody in there is like, who's going to hook up, like, I don't know. But you're right. I mean,
Yeah.
the Traders cast was awesome. You're probably right. The average age, I would say, is probably 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Looking back on it, you're right, and I think that's what Big Brother should do. Big Brother should be,
Yeah.
and don't get me wrong. Of course, we want to see some hot bodies. Come on,
Right.
we
We're
want to
not
see
saying
some hot
none.
bodies. Yeah, I mean, we do, but like, not every single person. Like, that's not real life. That's not like an
Mhm.
experiment to me. In my season, I was the youngest girl, and I was
Yeah.
28.
Really?
Yes,
And
so
Jesse was the youngest, right?
he was the youngest. Yeah, he was 22.
Okay.
So, but for a girl,
Yeah.
I thought that that was interesting because, like, you didn't have anybody between the ages of 21 and 27
Hmm.
um, that was casted. That might be something to think about. Because you still got a showman's out of it. So, I mean,
Sure
you
did.
know. So April and Ollie, but that's why it's like sometimes, like, if you feel like you need to fit somebody in just to fit them in, I don't know. It's like forcing the situation.
Yeah.
When you can get really, really good people in their 30s and their 40s, 50s, whatever the case may be. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that anybody that's 21 shouldn't deserve to go on it or whatever. But I mean, it's if you compare the seasons where there's like younger people and then you compare like a Big Brother 10 or, something like that, it's completely different.
Would you do Traitors?
So I watched it last year when it came out, and I was like, I really like the concept of the show. It's very interesting. And I kind of was just like, could I be a traitor? A faithful, I think everybody could be a faithful,
Mm-hmm.
but could you be a traitor? That's a very difficult job to do.
Mm.
But I would, if given the opportunity, I would love to give it a shot. I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with just kind of like relationships because, I think that whether you're the traitor or not, um, it's if you're friends with a traitor, they're going to keep you around longer.
Mhm.
It's just a matter of trying to figure out who the traitor is. But it's just about building relationships, and I definitely have like a gift of gab.
Yes.
So, and I tend to meet people and become their best friends within a couple of minutes. So, I think that it would be, easy. Not, I wouldn't say easy, but I'm not like a quiet person or anything like that. So, I think with a personality of being quiet, it might not be such a good thing to be on that show. So, but Traitors. Ugh, it's
Oh
like
yeah.
I finished watching it this morning. And I was literally like giggling like a little schoolgirl.
Yes. Oh my god, my jaw was on the floor. What did
The
you think of the finale? I need to hear your thoughts.
We're talking about the finale, not the reunion, right?
Right, right, the finale.
I was like, so I've watched. I'm a reality person. I watched all reality shows, so I knew all of them except for Kevin. I never watched the what was he on, the Bling
Bling
or
Empire.
Bling Empire. I never watched that.
Okay.
And then Ekin Sue, she was new to me and John, obviously, but I was like I loved watching like the Housewives. I watched all the Housewives, um, and I watched The Bachelor and Survivor,
Mhm.
and I watched all that. So and obviously Shaws of Sunset. So um, I my jaw dropped when I saw. First off, I thought that they were going to all split. The three were going to split it.
Yeah.
I thought, and so when there was the green and then the two reds, I was like, okay, so that's it. It's CT and Trishelle, and then Trishelle put CT's name down. I was like, but you could see MJ's face. She knew it. She knew, like, wait a minute, like them two, they're I'm from the same cast, like, that's not good for me. And then when I saw CT, I was like, oh shit. I
Mhm.
said, stop it. But to be honest with you, I saw that, like MJ was really mad at them for that. And to be honest with you, from what we saw on TV, because we
Mhm.
don't know what happens behind,
Mhm.
MJ was kind of on the opposite side.
Yeah.
CT was kind of in the middle near the end, but Trishelle, she's very, very smart at that game at Traitors.
Mhm.
Every time they would want to vote one way, MJ was always on the opposite side of it.
Mm.
So maybe to justify what ended up happening, if I was Trishelle or them, I would have been like, as many times as I told you to vote for a traitor, you didn't. You were sticking to your Bravo girls, you
Mhm.
know? So if it was the other way around and you were here with a Bravo girl, would you have done that? Would you have kicked me out? Because
Yeah.
there was many times that they wanted probably to get rid of Trishelle. Um, so I would have been like, well, in all honesty, I voted for a lot of the traitors. How many traitors did you actually vote out? Um, Maybe to justify that, I guess, but it's a game, I guess, at the end of the day. And you could tell the gamers between the non-gamers, they have never experienced anything like that before. So I also felt it for MJ. Like, I love MJ. I think I've watched her for years, and um I thought she did a really good job too. I was a little surprised. I actually think that she did a lot better than what I thought she was going to do. I
Yeah.
didn't give her actually a lot of credit. And then I was like, she did really, really well. So I kind of felt really bad that she didn't get some of the money. What would you have done?
Uh, I felt bad too. I kind of felt bad, but then I was thinking back and it's like, I understand that she wasn't really on the right side of, their votes and stuff. And also, I see that CT and Trishelle, a lot of people are saying this, that they did a lot of work, like that they deserved it a little more than her. And it's like, I understand that, but I felt for her because just knowing she's a faithful, knowing that they know she's a faithful, and just trying to get rid of her just because I felt for her. But it is a game and you're trying to get trying to win, and not only that, but you're trying to get the most money, especially if you're on the faithful side. You don't want to be, you really don't want to be sharing it with like 5 people, do you really?
No, no.
So
And Trishelle was like, "Hey, like, why are you mad? I'm voted for CT."
right.
Not quite sure. I mean, she did vote for him, so it's not like I feel like it was a lie.
Yeah,
But what happens if what would have happened if MJ had put down CT instead of Trishelle?
I
I would have, I
know.
would have, I would have wondered if CT would have been pissed, or because he said, "Oh, I'm numb to this stuff. Like, it's just a game. I don't really like have any emotions about it." But if it was him that was voted out,
Yeah.
would that have been the case? But at the end of the day, see, you know what I like? Let's just be honest here. They all probably got some sort of money to be on the
Oh
show,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So at that point, you already won, right? For
Hmm.
me, you already won because you have accomplished what it is that you're there for. You got some money out of it. So play balls to the walls, because at the end of the day, you did make. Let's just put a number out there, 25,000, which I think a lot of them had made a lot more than that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
whether or not you win or lose, you're going to make that 25,000. So, like, go in there, guns a blazing,
Hmm.
because the 25,000 will still be there. You might make some extra money, but at the end of the day, there's only going to be a couple of people um, that are going to walk out with some money, whether it's traders, or a couple of the faithfuls. And we saw last year that Suri won by herself,
Yeah.
which I want to go back actually and rewatch the first season again, because I remember Ari was at the finals with them
Hmm.
too, and he kind of just walked away from the fire. I'm a little foggy as to if he did that voluntarily.
He did. He did because I I'm kind of like you. I kind of remember. I know they voted. She voted. I think she threw in the red one, so she wanted to vote to banish again. And I think he, before they voted, was like, "Oh, I'd rather let you guys win this. I have enough money or something," because he knew that he was going to be gone. But yeah, I gotta
Right.
go back and rewatch it too.
Yeah, because I'm like, this one was like fire. This one was like,
Yeah.
I I was just like, oh, for sure they're gonna split the money. Oh my god! And then I was like, she put CT's name down. Oh my god! And I'm like, did this happen last episode? I'm like, I
No.
don't remember our last season. I'm like, I don't remember it being like that. I remember being like, why did Ari just walk away from the round
Right.
table when he clearly like was going to win money? It was very, very confusing to me.
Yeah.
So I want to go back and watch it because I want to see if there was anything funny going on there. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Because at the fire, I don't think they voted once. They didn't vote once at the fire. They were going to, but then Ari left.
Yeah, and I'm confused a little bit too, because the whole gist of it is if any traders make it to the end, they win the money automatically. So why did he
Right.
walk away?
I think he knew that they were all going to vote him out because the other two really trusted Sari more, and
Right. Yeah.
they were all forced to vote.
Oh yeah, and yeah, I remember that they were very, very upset with Suri because she
Yeah.
lied to them. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I was a little confused by that. But yeah, okay, because they have that one more they can vote to have one more banishment.
Yeah.
So okay, maybe he just volunteered, but I wouldn't have volunteered. I would have gone up out
Yeah.
with.
I would have taken the risk.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you got that far, but anyway, sorry, going off topic. Um,
That's okay.
but I was super happy that Trishelle won because she really played hard. I mean, CT, yes, he did a good job too, but I've seen him win the challenge. I've seen him win before, and Trishelle, she worked her little booty off,
Yes.
and um, I was excited for her. I was really excited for her. But yeah, I thought it was great. I mean, I loved how when they were watching, because they didn't know what was happening.
Yes.
The rest of the contestants, that they were all kind of like, what? So yeah, it was really good.
I
So,
have a question for you because I know that you are obviously close with your cast. what did you think about Dan's gameplay? Because it is like the talk of everything. I know what you're doing. I see you. She's like, pass. I love Dan. Can I tell you that right now? I do. I'm a huge Dan fan. Huge.
I like Dan too. Let's just, how do I put it? The fact is that we knew who the traitors were, but I could tell the way he was walking. The way he was walking, I was like,
oh.
I could just tell, like everything about him was oozing like a traitor. I thought he played there's reasons why Dan hasn't been playing, I think, different reality shows, and I don't think that he went back on All Stars or whatever. If he was asked, I have no idea. I think he was afraid because I feel like he felt like he was going to be targeted right off the bat. That's probably why he didn't go back. Which I'm just guessing. I have no idea if he was asked back or not. But I feel like your gameplay can only go so far if it's, how do I put this? I'm trying to say it properly without saying something wrong. I think in Big Brother, there might have been some like assistance in certain things, right? Maybe possibly, certain comps, guiding, and certain things. Where I think in there, he was just one of the contestants. He was just another person, right? It wasn't like he was there with a bunch of like newbies. Like he was there with people that were game players. He was there with people that didn't, they weren't afraid to speak. They was a lot of intelligent people. And I think that he couldn't play the way he was wanting to play with these people. And we saw that, right? I mean, it was pretty bad. I mean, it was kind of, it was cringing, very cringing. And the fact of the matter is, like, if you're a traitor, you literally can do whatever you want to do, right? Because you can murder somebody without even like having to do it to their face or having to win a competition. Like that part of the game to me is a little that's like the one thing I'm not crazy about is that they can literally like, oh, somebody's like calling you out, you can get murdered tomorrow.
Right.
It's kind of like, but his choices and who he was picking to murder, I was questioning that. His choice of poverty was very confusing for me as well. I'm not sure. I think the first thing that started his bad gameplay was picking Johnny Bananas and murdering him.
Okay.
I think that he was going to eventually get banished, or I think that he needed to have like more people, more shields. So I think that what he should have done is analyze the entire group. Okay, so we have like, which I guess they call themselves the gamers or something like that, and then you have the Bravo people, right? So he should have started picking off the Bravo people, like getting the numbers for him where he is more able to control the situation. So by going after Johnny Bananas, I think right off the bat, like that definitely to me is like a guy, definitely a guy that did that.
Right. Yeah.
Because why would somebody go right for Johnny Bananas? He won competition. So did CT. You know what I mean? So did like Janelle. She won just recently the Snake in the Grass or something.
Yep.
So the fact of how he went for him first, I thought that would right off the bat was suspicious, because if that was the case, why didn't he go for Larissa and for what's Larissa's boyfriend's name? Oh my god.
Marcus.
Marcus, thank you. I kept thinking Michael Jordan. Um,
Yeah.
because that to me is more of a pair than CT and Johnny Bananas. I
Yeah.
mean, if you know anything about CT and Johnny Bananas, they've been going at it for years.
Yes.
So that's who he should have gone for first, would have been
Yeah.
Larissa, maybe. Let Marcus be on his own, because Larissa already has Marcus and she's got all the housewife people, right?
Mhm.
So that to me was his downfall, was right off the bat. And he could have, Johnny Bananas is like a personality in itself, that a lot of people could have thought that he was a traitor. He could have, like, been a good shield for him. So I think that in his choices, definitely uh, set himself up for disaster. And then
Yeah.
um, being as quiet and everything that he was doing, it was completely opposite of what he should have been doing. You can't be
Mhm.
quiet. And because when he's quiet, he's like creepy, like walking around the house creeping. Like it totally reminded me of Big Brother, when I would
Yeah.
see, we were always like, what is he doing? Like, what is he creeping around for? Like, it's just very suspicious. And I always had my suspicions on Dan right off the bat. Probably I wasn't production's favorite for that. And, you know, because, well, let's be honest, production has their people that I think that they favor.
Mhm.
Um, and I definitely think that he was there, who they wanted, and I was going after that, and they did not like that at all. Um, so I think in this circumstance in Traitors, his game of Big Brother, he was trying to replicate it in here, and it didn't work. And oh my God, like Phaedra. I don't know if he did his research on, like, any housewives. I'm not sure actually if anybody even knew who was going in. It wasn't like,
I don't think
Big
so.
Brother. Yeah, I don't think so either. Where they called each other and they set up stuff, and set up alliances and all that stuff. So I don't even think he probably even gave any kind of thought of this person's going to be a challenge for me. Like,
Yeah.
Phaedra is a lawyer, first off. She's worked as a funeral director. She has many hats that she wears, and he was not ready for her, and she was ready for him,
Oh,
and for
she ate
anybody in
him
that
up.
matter. And I mean, she'll shred anybody. But she's like mad at him.
Yeah. Oh, she is upset. Dirty Dan. She was calling him like an asshole on the reunion. And poor Dan, well, I'm just like, this is so out of his element. You
I
can
was literally
see.
having flashbacks of, like, my season, like, at the end, I was just like, oh my God. Like, but she was mad.
Yeah.
She called him a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And like Dirty Dan, and you could see his face, like he was like genuinely afraid.
Yeah.
Like, I saw an interview with Andy Cohen, and who was it with? I don't know who it was with, but Andy said that they were like, how's the reunion going to be? He said it's going to be crazy. He said, who's the one person that sticks out to you from the reunion? And Andy said, Dan.
He did.
He did. He said that Dan looked like he was like going to shit his pants.
Oh my
And
god.
And when he first met Andy, he was like, "Oh, Dan, it's so nice to meet you." And I guess, like, whatever kind of look Dan gave him, he's like, Dan? Are you okay?" And he's like, "I don't know." He's like, "It's gonna be okay. It's just a reunion." And he's like, uh, he's like, "Are you scared?" He's like, "Yes, very."
Oh,
So he was like scared, like, to be in a
wow.
reunion, because I think that he's never had to, like, face, like, in that type of circumstance, like there's no reunion for Big Brother.
No.
So when it's at the end, there's no like we're not allowed to talk back and forth. It's
Yes.
Julie's in control and it's the way it is. And then you go and you leave and you don't have to look at that person. But there, he had to face all the stuff that was going on, and he clammed up, or
Hmm.
pretty much was like, oh shoot, like I have to face what I did, or the people that I did wrong, or you know um because a lot of people I've read online are very angry with Dan
Yeah.
because they say that he messed up Phaedra's game, and that you're not allowed to, if you're a traitor, you're not allowed to call out another traitor. And I'm like, well, I don't think that that's necessarily true. He wasn't
Yes.
like, I'm a traitor and you're a traitor. That's not
Right.
what happened. He knew he was going to be going home, so he decided, I don't know why, but he definitely had said it to Parvati as well, that he wanted Phaedra out of the game. And you're playing with her at this point, at the beginning, that you're already going after her, and you're supposed to be working together. Like, that's probably where I think Phaedra probably is very upset about.
Yeah.
Probably because I think she probably feels that he screwed up her game.
Yeah.
I don't think it's wrong that he called her out, but it's a little bit confusing. There would have probably been other people he should have, maybe.
Yeah.
But that scent that he left behind made a lot of people sniff around that, and I don't think she would have been um, banished
No.
if if he had not said her name and had said somebody else's name. I don't think it's against the rules, though. I think that he clearly did what he thought was the best for his game, but probably calling out maybe somebody else that had more, that it made more sense, maybe, or somebody that he probably could have convinced others
Hmm.
that they were the traitor, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but he was kind of throwing things at the wall and seeing what stuck, and that it didn't. It didn't. It was bad. I think that he probably is going to think about, probably if he gets an opportunity to do another game, he might have to think about it twice, because I don't think it went any way the way he thought it was going to go.
Yeah. Not at all. And I kind of knew finding out that he was a traitor that it wouldn't go well. I just had a feeling because Big Brother and Traitors is completely different. It's much faster in the Traitors. I think they
Yeah.
only had like 45 minutes in between missions and stuff to like game talk. And that's why I guess
Yeah.
there's a lot of closed door, like, Peter and his pals.
Peter
He said
Pan.
he said that he would go behind closed doors because there wasn't much time to actually talk to people. So,
Right.
I mean, but it was a
And
hot minute.
I was a little bit surprised too, because like in that you need like some numbers till a certain point, right?
Hmm.
And the fact that, like, I think he should have tried to help Janelle stay a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like, what he should have been doing was, instead of sitting there saying nothing and being quiet and being like very loud, being quiet. How quiet he was very loud
Yeah.
to people.
Yeah.
He should have been like gaming more with the gamers, because that's his numbers. Like, Janelle would have, even if he was a traitor, Janelle would have had his back until a certain point, right? Until the numbers got down, and then you have to, like, just kind of like what the Bravo girls did. They stuck together, and they kind of had a feeling it was one of them, right? But they weren't
Hmm.
going to put their names out there
Right.
until near the end. So he should have been trying to keep his number good,
Yeah.
and that's why I was confused as to why he Johnny Bananas, because I think that
Right.
Bananas would have been a number for him, right?
Yep.
Until a certain point. So I just think that being so quiet the way he was so bad in a lot of different aspects for him. For him being the traitor, and then for him with his numbers, it was very confusing, very confusing. I was very confused. And I had a feeling too. As soon as they picked him for the traitor, I was like, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or
Right.
obviously 4 weeks. I'm like, he's out.
Yeah. Sorry, Dan. But yeah, it's a completely different game.
Vote.
Now, if you played, what do you think your strategy would be?
Oh, whether I was a faithful or traitor,
Yeah, I don't know which one you'd rather be. What would you rather be?
I don't know if the traitor. It's a very difficult to be a traitor. I show my emotions a lot, so I think it would be hard. Um, like Fader, the only thing that was bad on Fader's game was her eye twitch.
Yeah.
So I'd be my whole face would be twitching, my hair would be twitching. I don't know, like there would be stuff twitching I didn't even know could twitch.
Yeah.
I guess but in that being in the situation, I mean, if that's what I had to do, I try to do my best. But you'd also have to make sure that the relationships are good because
Mhm.
whether you're a faithful or traitor, like Sandra said, it don't matter. You got to get to a certain point. Like you have to, because Sandra, I was not happy with her the way she played the game either until near the end when it kind of was making sense for me because she was playing it like, I don't care if they're a traitor or not. I'm gonna be friends with them, and then if I know they're a traitor, I don't care. They're gonna protect me, and I'm gonna go to the end, and then hope for the best.
Mhm.
It didn't work out for her, but at first I was kind of like, what's she doing? And then
Yeah.
at the end it made sense. I was like, okay, she knows that she was with traitors. She didn't care. So she was just trying to go as far as she could, which is what you're supposed to do. So that worked out. But it's just you have to like get the right relationships and be with the
Mhm.
right people. I think it's so important. But I wonder if people talked before, like did Janelle know that she was going in, did she talk to Dan or like the housewives, like if I blink my eyes 3 times, like
Right.
could they form some sort of like something before going in? I just don't know from the time that they found out that they were going on the show to when they actually went and filmed, if there
Right.
was a time or something. I don't know. So that they can kind of like, okay, let's keep each other safe until whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's just a matter of like, are you going to be on the number side? Is
Yeah.
really what it comes down to. But I think it also has to do with like who's on the cast as well,
Oh yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
this was definitely like the Bravo people stuck together, and then
Mhm.
the Survivor people kind of really didn't, but the gamers kind of stuck
Yes, the
together.
gamers.
So, like, how are they going to do it next time? Are they going to do something where, somebody has somebody, not necessarily friends or whatever, but oh, they were on the same channel or they were on, they did whatever together.
Mhm.
Um, because there was some people that didn't know anybody, like Peppermint.
Yeah.
Peppermint came in there. She didn't have nobody else from any of the drag races.
Right.
John, I love John. Oh,
Oh
John,
yeah.
oh, I love him. The Duchess Murderer, the Mistress of Mayhem, and oh my God, he was so awesome, so
Oh
classic.
yeah.
So I give it to those people that went in there with nobody.
Yeah.
Like they didn't have anybody. Like Kevin didn't have like any. Ekin and Sue. But there was like the Bravo girls. I mean, they were in there strong. They were
Yeah.
like a lot of them have done a lot of stuff together. So it was hard. So that's why I think I give it to them, for well, some of them didn't make it far, but like poor Peppermint, she got out second. But I think it's really big on who's casted for the show. I think that can be your demise,
Yeah.
or what could help you make it to the end if you play it right.
Yep.
So I just say, like, let's just cast all Big Brother people and see how.
Let's Oh, that's my next question. I want to really honestly know who from Big Brother, like any season, just like a list. I don't know how many, but who do you want to see on Traitors 3? Because there are talk about people already.
Really?
Yeah. Oh no, I'm thinking of House of Villains. There's actually talk about House of Villains, Jesse. Did you see
Yes,
that?
I did.
Do we think that's true? Do you know anything?
I do not. I sent him a message, so I haven't heard back. So I don't know if he's filming or whatever.
That's exciting.
But that's awesome. And Richard Hatch is a very good friend of mine.
Really? Oh my gosh.
So I would love it if that's true. But I'm a little confused as to why I Love New York is back.
I know. Well, I think people were so upset that she left so early. They were like, she made the show, she made the show. She really didn't. I thought the whole cast was amazing. I loved Johnny Bananas and oh God, what's her name? Not Tiffany. What's the other girl's name?
The one that
That's with a
won,
T. The one that won. Yeah, I loved her. And
Tanisha.
Bobby.
T-
Oh
T-
yeah, Tanisha. And then Bobby
Tanisha.
Lights. But
Oh God,
anyways,
I love that.
I didn't.
I love By the
Yeah.
Light. I love, yeah, Johnny Fairplay. That's my boy. Um,
So I was.
I I heard that actually, like, I Love New York didn't like hang out with anybody. She stayed in her room.
Yes.
So I'm a little
Yes.
confused as to why, but she does bring the drama. She does bring
Yep.
the epicness, but I'm just a little confused as to why they brought her back. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, I heard that she called them all like peasants and she didn't want to sleep in the same room with them. And like, this is from, I think, Tanisha's live. She went live and like spilled all the tea about it. I was like,
Yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah. I think once she probably knew that she wasn't like the HBC head bitch in
Yeah.
charge, and by yelling and screaming at people like was not going to help. It's totally different. Like having a show and having a show about love, and you're the one that everybody's trying to get their attention, and to play a game is a
Yeah.
completely different. It's
Yeah.
completely
Oh,
you
yeah.
know. So I think that she probably thought that she was going to go in there and everybody was just going to be like, "Here's a red carpet.
Yeah.
That's the money, go for it," and it was completely opposite. And then also I think that there was a lot of like huge personalities in there, and it kind
Mm-hmm.
of over like Omarosa. I mean,
Oh,
she
yeah.
she she takes the cake. I mean, so I think it was just probably not what she was thinking that was going to happen. But that's why I'm kind of like, why are they bringing her back? So I'm not really sure. Maybe it's just because to appease um, the what kind of critiquing they got from when the show was done. And like you said, a lot of people were upset that she left
Yeah.
quick, soon. So maybe they're just kind of like, okay, well, she brought a lot of viewership, and
Right.
out of everybody, she's the one that we've gotten the most messages about. So
Yeah.
let's bring her back. And I
Yeah.
don't blame them because they're looking for viewers. So.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I'm interested to see the House of Villains, but who would I want to see on the trailer?
Yes.
Huh, good question.
Mhm.
Um, I would love to see probably like an Eric Stein.
Yep.
I
Okay.
would like to see him because I think he would be like he could get away with the whole traitor situation. I think. Like I'm trying to think of people that could stone cold look at you in the face and then murder you. Um,
What about well, Kirby?
I think he would be good. Um, Gosh, you kind of like think about it, and you're like, almost like anybody that was on Big Brother would be
Yeah.
pretty okay, like on it. Um, Gosh, hmm. I mean, anybody on my season would be good besides Dan. Unfortunately, he already
Yeah.
did it. It
I
didn't
was
work
just
out
gonna
for
say who
him.
on your season.
But like a Rennie, oh my God.
That would be hysterical if she's a traitor, Michelle. It's inappropriate.
Okay, that's it. Ready. I wanted you ready. She's got to be the
Okay,
trainer.
Rennie wins.
Who's the winner? Chicken dinner. Oh my God.
Oh.
I'm just thinking about it and I'm getting tears in my eyes because, like, I, I think she could actually get away with being a traitor.
Yeah. Yes, she could. Oh my gosh.
So
Yeah.
who have you heard that could be on the Traitors,
Who,
that was on Big Brother?
who do I think?
No, who did you hear?
Oh, no, I didn't hear about the
Oh,
Traitors. I
yeah,
only heard about House of Villains. I was confusing the two. I heard about Jesse, and I was like, that would be really exciting.
yeah, that would be awesome, actually.
I want to ask real quick, who, where can people find you? Not who. Where can people find you on like socials and such?
So, my TikTok game is very bad. I don't
Your TikTok.
TikTok.
That's okay.
My TikTok game is no bueno. Um, so you can pretty much find me anywhere, X, Twitter, whatever it's called.
Right.
Um, and when it's not hacked or whatever,
I know. Oh my gosh, that's a hot
um,
mess over there.
it's pretty much Michelle BB10.
Okay.
Is my username on Insta, X, Facebook. You can find me under Michelle Costa. Um, and I think that's am I missing anything? No, because I don't TikTok much. I have a TikTok which I don't even it's not even my name or anything. I don't even know like
Really?
I don't even know. I have to
I have tried to look you up and to get you followers because I know you're on TikTok, and every time I'm like, um, I'm doing the rewatch and I'm talking about you. I'm like, Michelle's on this, Michelle's on TikTok, but you guys need to go follow her. She can't go live with me.
yeah, I literally don't know if 'cause I remember my niece made it and I don't even know if like it's my name on it. It's like a random like name, like a like user 157.
Yeah. Listen, as long as you have Instagram, I think you're fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get better on my TikTok game. I really do. I really do. I just honestly think that it's probably for the best because I would have some ridiculous TikToks and, once it's put out in the universe, I can't bring it back. So,
Yeah, right. I'd love to see it though.
oh my gosh, yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Michelle. I really appreciate you, coming on here and talking to me. As a huge super fan, it means the world.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm glad that we got to connect. It's been a couple of
Yes.
weeks, ups and downs, but here we are. So thank you so much for having
You're
me on.
welcome.